is Monday morning and we are getting a move on. I have Charlie in here with me. He was very happy when I opened up the window. He always does that every time we open up the blinds in the morning. He runs to the window and wants to see out. So it is Monday. We are doing school today. This is our last week and then we're going to be taking a week off, which is really nice. It's our final push and then we get a whole week off. I got up this morning early, which is impressive because we just had the time change. And I did some reading. You saw, still drinking that cup of coffee, got myself cleaned up, and now I'm back in the schoolroom. I need to put some things away. Luckily, I did plan yesterday, but then I got in here and was recording a couple of videos. So I just need to put that stuff away, bring out the stuff that we need first thing this morning. Both my kids are up and getting breakfast and getting dressed, things like that, some morning chores. It is, I need to change the clock, about 8:20 or so. We usually try to start by 9. So we will see. Today might be just a little off just because of that time change, but I'm hoping it's going to be a great day. I don't know if we have any other plans today. Sometimes on Mondays we go to the park with friends, but that's not always. So maybe if we don't do that, we have a bunch of library books that are due back, so maybe we'll go to the library instead. We will see. On that note, I'm going to put this stuff away and set up. Here's our table set up for this morning. So this is my plans for our mornings. So today we are going to do a year of stories and our free write. We have just started this free write journal and we just spend 3 minutes every morning and kind of just journal, and it's fun. And then both my kids' planners. So this is my 8th grader, and you can see everything that he will be doing. So this is our morning meeting. That's where we do the free write and year full of stories. This is writer's workshop. I still need to get that out. Well-trained mind. So we had been saving well-trained mind and Anne Frank for both at the end of the day, and that just wasn't working. We weren't getting it done. So I'm trying this, where we move well-trained mind up to the first thing in the morning. Then he has some build your library stuff, his reader that he's doing, math, handwriting, and then we will do Anne Frank together at the end of the day. And then same thing for my 4th grader. So we have our morning meeting, writer's workshop. He is reading a Zoe and Sassafras book. So this is where I have brought this from the end of the day and put it up here so that he can go read while my oldest and I do well-trained mind together. And then we are going to do history. This is our reader is A Wish in the Dark, Beowulf grammar, math, and handwriting. There we are, all set up. So now I am going to go and grab a bite to eat, and I will show you when we get started. We are here at the table. Wow, yeah, that is stuff that I have piled up already for next school year, so you just have that there because I don't know where else to put it. All right, we are going to start with our free write, so we're going to hand them out. And I'm going to set a timer for 3 minutes and we just kind of write. All right, so that is done. Now we are going to go through this year of stories. I had mentioned this in one of my other videos. I had this from a few years ago, but we're going through it again. So we are catching up on some past things that have happened, and we just didn't have time to read it then. So we are doing March 3rd, which was World Wildlife Day. And so this story is The Bird Wife, an Inuit story. We are now going to be starting our writer's workshop. So our mini lesson today, I wrote a quote up on the board. History isn't written by the victors, but it's victims who write the memoirs. So what do you think that means? And then I'm just going to read this also. Both personal narratives and memoirs involve written personal experiences. The two are closely related. A key difference is that a narrative focuses on an event, while a memoir centers on an individual. So now, life history. A life history is different from a personal narrative or a memoir. To write your life history, you will tell as many of your important life events as you can remember. So, some important events to include: details of your birth, time, place, circumstances, details of your family members, names, places, ages, moves to a new house or going to new places, important events, travels, awards, and honors. In your journal today, you're going to write out a basic timeline of your life. Starting at your birth, I want between 5 and 10 things going on in your life, and then ending with today.
I do not remember my own birth.
No, but you know the details of it.
Like the date.
You know the date. You
Well,
can look
yeah.
up the time that you were born.
Yeah.
Right?
This is bit boards we have in our room say everything.
So you can add in that kind of information. What city were you born in? You can add in that kind of stuff. All right, so they are both doing their personal timeline. So we really love Writer's Workshop by Layers of Learning. It's been a lot of fun to do. And so right now we are doing, what is it called? Like truthful stories or something like that. So not fiction or anything, nonfiction. And so that is our lesson for today. They are pretty short and sweet. I try to keep it that we're done within 20 minutes to 30 minutes. And then kind of go from there. While they are doing that, I have pulled out Well-Trained Mind so that when my 8th grader is done, we can start in on this. So we are really liking it. It is crazy in depth. He is learning absolutely every in and out of grammar that I honestly had no idea existed, but we are really enjoying it. So today we are going to be doing, I think we're up to lesson 24. We do it sometimes 1 to 3 times a week. It depends on that week. Last week, I think we only did it once. Yeah, I think we only did grammar once last week. And so that is why I'm changing up our schedule so that hopefully that will kind of help so that we can really get it done first thing in the day. Somehow, end of day, curling up and listening to Anne Frank, not a problem. But pulling out grammar and doing that at the end of the day is not getting done. So we are on lesson 24, which is possessive adjectives, contractions, and compound nouns. So I am going to be doing a flip through of this. That's going to be coming up in a couple of weeks because I just filmed a flip through of Blossom and Root art. So that will be coming next. And then this will be coming. We like it. It is crazy in depth, like I said, but that's okay. All right, I'm going to go chug my second cup of coffee while it is relatively quiet right here. All right, they are done with their timeline, so we are moving on. So my 4th grader is going to go read, what is this, number 5 of Zoe and Sassafras. He really likes this series. It's an easy read for him at this point, but he likes the animals and kind of magical beings and the science behind everything going on in the books. And then my 8th grader is here, so we are going to be starting Well-Trained Mind. So today we are doing possessive adjectives, contractions, and compound nouns. All right. What is a contraction? 2 of the contractions that you studied in the last lesson are occasionally misused, and 3 more are often misused. Look at the chart in your workbook. As you can see, he's means he is, not his. What does IT apostrophe S mean? Because IT apostrophe S is a contraction. They have 2 different meanings, so they're written differently. All right, so complete exercise 24A before we move on. All right, so he is working on that little exercise right now. And so I have the key, and so I will go through and check it when he is done, and then we will go on with the lesson. Let's finish out this week of nouns and verbs with a look at one more kind of noun. Contractions aren't the only words formed by combining 2 other words. Compound nouns are also formed by bringing 2 words together. All right, so we just finished the second exercise, and now we're going to finish the lesson, and then we'll have a third exercise. I love when these lessons are broken up like that, so that we can kind of work on the exercises as we're going through the lesson. So that's what we're doing today. Now imagine that you have a handful of snow in your left hand, and a handful of snow in your right hand. In that case, you would have 2 handfuls.
Oh, here. Yeah.
Yes.
You would also have 2 cold hands.
You would also have 2 cold hands. You would have handfuls of snow. Sometimes it's difficult to know exactly how to make a compound noun plural. Complete exercise 24C now. Ask for help if you need it. Some of the words are tricky. All right, so he's going to go and do that exercise. I'm going to keep this out. While he's doing that, I'm also going to be setting up for history for my 4th grader. I am going to have to turn my phone off while we are doing history because we listen to Story of the World and we use my phone to do that. So we are going to be doing Story of the World chapter 30 today, which is Freedom in the Caribbean and about the Haitian Revolt. So there's only one part in this chapter, so we are going to do this whole chapter today and answer the questions that are in here. They're just kind of like narration questions that we ask just to make sure that we have comprehended everything. So it looks like there's some timeline dates that are part of Build Your Library. And then, oh yeah, okay, so while we read, my son can color this if he would like. We are going to be doing a map. There's always a map to go with every single chapter, and we love that. It just helps visually bring us to what we are talking about. And we are also going to be coloring in the Haitian flag. Busy day of history, but it should be fun. So I'm going to go set that all up, and I will be back after that to talk more. Okay, so time for an update. We have finished history, all except for the timeline. It's up on the board, and so my son's going to write that into his timeline notebook. My oldest son is doing the Build Your Library stuff, so he did geography, encyclopedia, read a couple of pages in that. Then he's working on Wondrous Workings. It was just a few pages in that as well. And reading a couple chapters in Elephant Whisperer. So he is doing all of that. Before lunch, which I have ordered some Jimmy John's because that is just how it is today. We are going to be reading some more of A Wish in the Dark. We are really enjoying it. I will say, we tried the audio and it was awful. It was really, really bad.
It was obnoxious.
Yeah. So we returned it and I'm just reading it out loud. That is what we are doing. We're on chapter 12 till chapter 14. So it's a little over 20 pages. I don't know if I will be able to finish it before our lunch arrives. If not, that's fine. At least we have gotten a nice start on it. So that is our update. We are officially on lunch break. We were reading and then we heard the Jimmy John's delivery guy show up. But as he was standing there, he was like, this bag feels light, and he forgot a sandwich. So he will be back with that, which is unfortunate, We are all very hungry. So we're gonna do lunch break. This is definite downtime. This is where kids watch TV, play games, talk to friends online, that kind of stuff. I catch up on maybe some YouTube things, read, kind of just really take some downtime. Let's see, I don't think we're doing the park today, but maybe we'll go to the library. That would be kind of fun to do during lunch break. We have a bunch of books that are due back, and then just explore and see what books we can find. So I'll be back this afternoon when we get back to our schoolwork. Let's see, my 4th grader, we have to finish reading, and then he has grammar and math and handwriting. My 8th grader has reading, math, Anne Frank, and handwriting too. That is the update, and yeah, I'll be back this afternoon to take you through that. We are back at it for this afternoon. We are going to quickly finish up A Wish in the Dark. We have, yikes, still like 14 pages to read. A little over 14 pages. This is a long tab. So we will see. If it is just taking forever, I might just set it down and maybe tonight before bed we can finish it up. Because then we also have Beowulf grammar, math, and then he does handwriting on his own after the math practice. My oldest is doing... Are you reading your book, Caleb? He's doing his reader book, which is The Last Gate of the Emperor. So he's reading that tab, and then he's going to go on and do math and Anne Frank. Yeah, so we still have quite a bit to do. It's after 2 o'clock now. We got some good books at the library. That's always good. And now we're gonna get back into it. I'm gonna drink some water. Wow. Maybe have a nice little caffeinated beverage because it's the afternoon and after the time change. So that's where we are. It had been the best night of Nock's life. Her opponent was a tall boy with a loud mouth named Bull. More like mouse, thought Nock, as she swept her leg behind his knee and toppled him backward onto the mat. Okay, so we did not finish the reading. That is okay. We will do the last chapter tonight at bedtime. We are really enjoying this book. We will continue on with that. Now we're going to set that aside and do Beowulf's grammar. So let's open up and see what we have to do today. I do not follow the schedule that is in here. I create my own. We are week 28, which is crazy. I can't believe that. So we're going to do page 139 to 143. Wow, this will be interesting. All right, starting something new. We are going to be doing diagramming. My 4th grader has never done diagramming before, so this will be fun to start with him. I do believe it starts pretty gentle. You know, like this page is a lot of explaining it, and you do one example at the bottom. And then even these, you know, they're pretty simple pages. I think we'll be able to get through it pretty easily. So he just got a little snack. And we're going to sit and start this. Here is our first worksheet. We are going to be starting diagramming. Beowulf is so excited to get to this part of the workbook. You now know 5 parts of speech: nouns, pronouns, adjectives, verbs, and adverbs. You also know 2 parts of a sentence: the subject and the predicate. All right, so while he is finishing up doing those diagrams, my 8th grader is going to be doing a test. So I'm gonna get that out so that he is ready to go. Is this chapter 11? All right, so here it is. Pretty easy. I've talked about this curriculum a lot on this channel this year. We love it, and it's just straightforward, not tricky math. Or not, you know, I mean, math is tricky. It's not trying to trick your student. So he's gonna go ahead and do this test, and then we will continue on. Looking through, I just realized that we did a week's worth, which is only 2 days. 2 days of grammar. Today, I pulled out all the worksheets for it, and we did it. Oops. Oh well. He's getting it. It's easy enough, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll figure out something for the rest of the week. While he is finishing up his last diagramming, I have pulled out the teacher guide for Math with Confidence, and we are on lesson 12.5. So we've been talking about equivalent fractions, and today is equivalent fractions to a meter, or of a meter.
Wow.
Wow. Just kind of going through, making sure that we are ready for it.
Okay.
So I'm going to get a couple of the supplies. All right, so for today's lesson, we needed some dice, some counters, and a meter stick, which is optional. I got this our first year of homeschooling. We have a yardstick too, but it is a printable one. I think I got it on Teachers Pay Teachers. And it's just nice to have. He's going to go ahead and put Beowulf away, and then we'll start our lesson. Today, you'll learn how to use fractions to describe parts of a meter. Hold your hands about 1 meter apart. So remember, refrigerators are usually about a meter wide, and kitchen chairs are often about a meter high. A meter is a little longer than a yard. 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. Okay, I am due for an update. So my 4th grader is done. He did his math practice and review, so I'm going to sit here and go over that and make sure he got everything right. And then he did 2 pages of cursive. So he is done. He is off doing his own thing now. My 8th grader definitely crashed this afternoon. He's tired with the time change. He did math. We still need to do Anne Frank, and he needs to do handwriting. At this point, I might just encourage handwriting, and again, Anne Frank, when I am sitting here and doing the rest of the reading with my youngest, I might pull in my oldest to do Anne Frank this evening. And that's just kind of how it's going to be. At that, we are basically done with our school day. It was a good day, considering how it is after a time change. I'll take it. It worked. We even got in going to the library, so that was fun. And I think that's where I'm going to leave this video. So every day of homeschooling is totally different. Not every day looks like this. There are days where it's all over the place. There's days where we just stick to it and we're not out running errands and going to the library. But we love that kind of flexibility. On that note, if you like this or anything else that I post here on this channel, make sure to like and subscribe down below, and I'll be back for more soon.